What's going on, guys? Running back position is the position everybody wants to talk about when it comes to fantasy football. And so I am bringing you my running back sleeper, breakout, and bust for the 2023 season. Before we jump in, I want to remind you, head over to 4for4.com, go to the plans page, and use the promo code YouTube, in all caps, YouTube, and get 25% off any subscription that you want. Get DFS info, get rankings, get tools, get articles, all this premium content for you to win your leagues. So let's jump into it. I'm going to start with my sleeper for the 2023 season. I am going to go with, currently going as RB29 in fantasy football drafts, DeAndre Swift. Let's look at what has happened for DeAndre Swift. He has been officially traded to the Philadelphia Eagles, a high-powered offense, but there's a lot of mouths to feed. How does DeAndre Swift fit into this offense? I think DeAndre Swift is likely to take over the red zone and the third down work for the Philadelphia Eagles. Rashad Penny will probably be the early down guy, and you might think red zone and early down or third down work, is that enough for a guy like DeAndre Swift? And the reality is, it is. It's the perfect role for DeAndre Swift because of his injury history. He's been a little bit brittle, and honestly, so is Rashad Penny. So assuming health for everyone, I think the red zone and third down work for a guy like DeAndre Swift is the perfect role for him. He has shown that what he is really good at is being efficient, scoring touchdowns, and being explosive as a runner and as a receiver at the running back position. I wouldn't be surprised to see DeAndre Swift land as a high-end RB2. Like I said, RB 16, 15, 14, with some RB1 big weeks upside. And it's crazy to think that there's a guy like DeAndre Swift who a lot of people had just a year ago in like their top 10, top 12 dynasty running backs because of his potential. His potential is still there. His talent is still there. And now he is an offense where A.J. Brown, Devonta Smith, Dallas Goedert will demand attention from defenses downfield, which means DeAndre Swift should eat as a pass catcher in the short and even intermediate areas of the field. And don't forget, he is going to be the red zone running back that I have put all my money on in this offense. I think Jalen Hurts' new best friend, the new person he's going to Disney World with, is DeAndre Swift in 2023, and you should be in on him too. The next guy I want to talk about is my breakout. Now, I've said this probably on a couple different videos that I like this player, but J.K. Dobbins is my guy, and right now in Dynasty Leagues, you can trade for him. In redraft leagues, you can get him as the RB 28 to 31, and that is a perfect range for a superstar talent like J.K. Dobbins. Last season, he led all running backs in fantasy points over expected, scoring 3.3 fantasy points over his expected fantasy points, beating out number 2 on this list, who is an elite player or has been an elite player, in Austin Eckler, who averaged 2.9 fantasy points over expectation. He averaged over 5.5 yards per carry last season. And I know, yards per carry isn't really a predictive stat. That's not something we like to do to forecast or project, but he has shown that he is highly efficient. The Ravens offense has shown us that they help produce highly efficient yard per carry running backs. And he did it just 1 year removed from his catastrophic knee injury, where it basically blew up everything in his knee. When you look at just the history of what that injury is, the torn ACL, MCL, hamstring, kind of all of that, typically year 1, they can get back, but they're far from 100%. Year 2 is really that year where they break out. And he showed that kind of efficiency, those kinds of numbers year 1. Just imagine what he can do in year 2 in this Ravens offense that is now led by Todd Monken. Todd Monken bringing in his brand of football is a huge plus for J.K. Dobbins. There's a lot of people who are saying, Zay Flowers, Rashad Bateman, Mark Andrews, all these guys are going to benefit from the addition of Todd Monken as the OC. I actually believe that J.K. Dobbins will be the primary benefactor of Todd Monken. He is known to be giving his running backs around 15 plus opportunities per game. And he has also improved a lot of running backs who we have seen as not really pass catchers and help them to become or get the opportunity to show that they have the ability to be pass catchers at a very efficient level. So when we look at J.K. Dobbins, we see efficiency, we see scoring opportunity, and likely an increase in volume. Everything is pointing towards J.K. Dobbins having his breakout year in 2023. What's not to love? I don't know. I am all in as my breakout player, J.K. Dobbins. You should be too. RB31 is insane. Now, we've talked about the good. Now let's talk about the bad. I am going for my running back bust, Dameon Pierce. Dameon Pierce, depending where you're drafting, is going RB15, or over on ESPN, he's going as RB17. Really, there's a lot you should be concerned about with Dameon Pierce. He's fun. He has these highlight plays. He will sometimes carry 3-4 defenders with him, and he's starting to get passes thrown his way in practice. Great. That's awesome for him. I'm really excited for him. I think he's a solid player. But for fantasy purposes, I'm hardly interested in Dameon Pierce, especially at an RB 15 to 17 price range. He is on a low-scoring offense. That low-scoring offense is led by a rookie QB, whom I firmly believe in, but a rookie QB nonetheless. He has shown that he is an inefficient and inconsistent pass catcher, so his passing down work is not something I'm going to rely on. And they added Devin Singletary to this offense. They paid Devin Singletary in this offense. And you might be thinking, Devin Singletary is not special. He is much better than anything Dameon Pierce had to compete with last year. And really, they're very similar players. They're these bruising running backs who are okay, but really not the best at pass catching. And they're both on this low-scoring offense. I think these are the types of players that aren't going to be able to complement each other and instead will cannibalize each other's value in fantasy football. They're better NFL players than they are fantasy players. Both solid, but for fantasy, I am avoiding Dameon Pierce at his price point. He is going to be a disappointment to you in your fantasy leagues in 2023. All right, guys, that is it for me. Make sure to head over to 4for4.com, use the promo code YouTube, save 25% and your money, and go win a fantasy championship. Thanks for hanging out. Don't forget to be kind, do good, and I'll see you next time. Peace.